There's a man standing in front of a mirror. He looks at his reflection, but instead of seeing the confident, capable individual he has worked so hard to become, he only sees the remnants of past mistakes. He sees a version of himself that carries the weight of old wounds, shattered dreams, and promises broken. The scars from his past have followed him throughout his life, haunting every step he takes. The hurt, the guilt, the shame. They don't just sit quietly in his mind, they scream at him every day. And no matter how hard he tries to move forward, he feels tethered to the past, unable to break free. This man isn't alone. Many of us are living with similar weights, shackled by memories of what we've done or what was done to us. We might carry the burdens of old relationships that ended in pain, decisions we wish we could erase, or dreams that once seemed so bright but now lie buried beneath regret. But here's the truth. The past doesn't define who you are today, unless you let it. The question I want to ask you today is, are you ready to make peace with your past? I know it's not an easy task. It's not something that can be done overnight. Making peace with your past means looking into the face of those scars, acknowledging the pain, and deciding to no longer let it control you. It means making a decision to free yourself from the chains of guilt, regret, and shame that have held you captive. It means healing, growing, and stepping into a new season of your life with strength, clarity, and the kind of peace that only comes from letting go. You see, many people spend years, or even decades, battling the ghosts of their past. They think that healing comes with time, but time alone doesn't heal. Time simply adds distance. It's not the clock that heals you. It's your willingness to confront your past and make peace with it. I want you to picture this. What if, in this very moment, you could stop fighting with your past? What if you could take a deep breath, acknowledge the mistakes, the regrets, the pain, and then, with full awareness, choose to move forward with grace, power, and freedom? How much lighter would you feel? How much more of your potential could you unleash? Today we are going to talk about how to make peace with your past. We're going to dive deep into why this is one of the most important steps you can take for your personal growth, your emotional well-being, and your overall success in life. This is about transforming the narrative you've carried for so long and reclaiming the power that's always been yours. So, what does it truly mean to make peace with your past? Making peace with your past doesn't mean erasing it. It doesn't mean forgetting the mistakes, the hurts, or the regrets. And it definitely doesn't mean pretending that everything was okay when it wasn't. Making peace with your past means releasing the hold it has over your present and future. It means finding a way to accept what happened, to forgive what needs to be forgiven, and to learn from the experience so you can grow stronger. It's important to understand that peace with your past is not about pretending that your wounds don't exist. It's not about denying your emotions or minimizing the pain. It's about learning to live with those things in a healthy way, acknowledging that they are a part of your journey, but not letting them dictate the direction of your life. There's a difference between being shaped by your past and being trapped by it. You can allow your past to shape you into a more resilient, wise, and empathetic person. But when you allow your past to trap you, when you allow it to control your thoughts, your actions, and your decisions, you are robbing yourself of the peace that could be yours. So why is it so important to make peace with your past? First, let's talk about personal growth. If you are constantly carrying the emotional baggage of past mistakes, you'll never be able to move forward. It's like trying to run a marathon while carrying a 50-pound backpack full of rocks. You can't move fast enough to reach the finish line if you're weighed down by the things you haven't let go of. When you make peace with your past, you release the emotional weight that's been holding you back. And with that release comes the freedom to grow, to evolve, and to chase your dreams without the constant distraction of past fears and insecurities. You create space for new possibilities to enter your life. But it's not just about growth. Making peace with your past is also crucial for your emotional well-being. Think about the mental and emotional toll of constantly reliving past mistakes. Every time you think about them, your body reacts. Your heart races. Your palms sweat. Your mind races with regret. That cycle of stress takes a toll on your body and mind, leading to anxiety, depression, and even physical health issues. But when you make peace with your past, you break that cycle. You start to breathe easier, sleep better, and think more clearly. Your mental health improves as you release the negative energy that's been stored inside. Lastly, making peace with your past is essential for building healthy relationships. When you are at peace with yourself, you become more capable of connecting with others. You stop projecting your unresolved issues onto the people around you. You stop seeking validation from others because you've already found it within yourself. Your relationships become stronger, more authentic, and more fulfilling. But here's the truth. Peace with your past isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. You won't simply wake up one day and say, "I've made peace with my past, and now everything is perfect." There will still be moments of doubt, of old wounds resurfacing, and of old patterns trying to reemerge. But every time you make the decision to choose peace, every time you choose healing over hurt, you move closer to the life you were always meant to live. And I want you to understand this, because it's powerful. You can't move forward while holding on to everything behind you. Your past is a part of your story, but it does not have to be the one thing that defines you. It's time to stop looking back and start looking forward with hope, strength, and unwavering belief in your ability to create a new chapter. Today, as we journey through this process of making peace with our past, I want you to know this. You are not your mistakes. You are not the sum of your regrets. You are not your failures. You are a work in progress, a masterpiece still being created. And in order to finish this masterpiece, you have to learn how to embrace the canvas of your past and use it as the foundation for the beautiful painting of your future. Let's begin this journey together. Let's make peace with our past so that we can live fully, love deeply, and achieve everything we were always meant to be. Take a deep breath. Let your mind go back to the moments that have shaped you, the moments that were joyful, painful, transformative, and everything in between. Some of these moments might be etched in your memory like a scar, while others might seem like distant echoes of a life that feels far removed from who you are today. But whether you think about them consciously or not, your past is still with you. It lives within you, influencing how you think, how you feel, and how you move through the world. What was your childhood like? What are the memories that stand out the most? Was there love? Was there hurt? Were you supported? Or were you left to navigate the world on your own? For many of us, the answer lies somewhere in between. Our upbringing is often a mixture of love and loss, joy and pain, dreams and disappointments. Think about those key moments of your life that stand out. Maybe you've experienced loss, the loss of a loved one, a job, or even a sense of direction. Maybe you've been betrayed by someone you trusted. Or perhaps you betrayed yourself by making decisions you regret. Maybe there was a time when you felt like you were on top of the world, but then everything came crashing down. Now I want you to think about how these past experiences shaped you. How do you feel about them? What lessons did they teach you? Did those experiences build you up, or did they break you down? For many of us, the scars of our past are not just physical, but emotional. We walk through life with wounds that have never fully healed. And sometimes, we don't even realize how much they affect us until we stop and reflect. We might think we've moved on, but every now and then, something happens. A person, a situation, a memory, and those old wounds are reopened. The pain resurfaces, and we're reminded of all that we've been through. I want to acknowledge that reflecting on your journey can be difficult. It can bring up emotions you may have been avoiding for years. It can stir up feelings of anger, sadness, regret, or shame. But here's what I want you to remember. Reflection isn't about staying stuck in the past. It's about understanding how your past has shaped you and acknowledging the role it's played in your growth. You can't change the past, but you can change how you allow it to impact your present. Think about the challenges you faced, the obstacles that have felt insurmountable. Whether they were personal challenges, professional setbacks, or relational difficulties, they were real. They tested your limits and your resilience. But guess what? You're here today. You survived. And that, my friend, is something to be proud of. You may have experienced deep pain, but you also have the strength to rise again. And that's the beauty of reflecting on your past. It reminds you of your resilience. It reminds you of the battles you've fought, the tears you've shed, and the courage you've shown. When you look back on your journey, you see the story of someone who kept moving forward, even when it felt impossible. Now, I want you to reflect on the emotions tied to those past experiences. What were the key emotions you carried with you? Perhaps it was fear, the fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown. Maybe it was guilt. Guilt over something you did, or something you didn't do. Maybe it was anger. Anger at others for what they did to you, or anger at yourself for what you feel you could have done differently. These emotions are valid. But here's the powerful truth. They do not have to control you. As you reflect on your journey, recognize these emotions and give yourself permission to feel them. But also recognize that, in order to move forward, you must release them. You must stop letting them dictate your actions, your mindset, and your future. So take a moment to reflect on and really reflect on your past. Acknowledge the highs and lows, the victories and the defeats, the pain and the healing. Allow yourself to fully feel what you need to feel, and then make the conscious decision to leave it behind where it belongs in the past. You are no longer bound by it. One of the most transformative steps you can take in your journey to peace is learning to forgive. Forgiveness. It's a word that many of us know, but few of us truly understand. When most people think about forgiveness, they think it's for the person who wronged them. They think forgiveness is about letting the other person off the hook or absolving them of their actions. But here's the truth. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about you. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the door to your freedom. It's the powerful act of releasing the emotional and mental hold that the past has over you. It's the decision to stop carrying the weight of anger, bitterness, and resentment. Because if you hold on to those feelings, they continue to drain your energy, your peace, and your potential. Let me share a story with you. There was a woman named Mary who, for years, lived with bitterness in her heart. She had been betrayed by a close friend, someone she loved deeply, and the pain of that betrayal consumed her. She couldn't understand how someone she trusted so much could hurt her in such a deep way. Every time she thought about it, her chest would tighten with anger. Every time she saw her former friend, her blood would boil. The memory of that betrayal haunted her. But one day, Mary decided to face the pain. She sat down and thought about the situation. She asked herself, what is holding me back? Why am I allowing this person's actions to continue hurting me? And that's when she realized the truth. The betrayal had already happened. It was in the past. But by holding on to the anger, she was allowing that pain to control her future. She was allowing it to rob her of peace, joy, and the opportunity for new relationships. In that moment, she made a choice. She chose to forgive, not for the other person, but for herself. She chose to let go of the anger that had been poisoning her for so long. And as soon as she made that decision, she felt a weight lift off her shoulders. For the first time in years, she felt free. She had reclaimed her power. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you condone the actions of others. It doesn't mean that what was done to you was okay. It simply means that you're choosing not to let it have power over you anymore. You're choosing to release the emotional burden and to move forward in peace. Think about the times when you've been wronged, when someone hurt you, betrayed you, or let you down. You might still feel the sting of that pain. But what would happen if you chose to forgive them? What would happen if you chose to forgive yourself for the mistakes you've made? Forgiveness is not a one-time act. It's a continual process. Sometimes, you have to forgive the same person, or even yourself, over and over again. And that's okay. Every time you choose to forgive, you choose to release the hold of the past. You choose to stop carrying the emotional weight that keeps you stuck. Let me tell you something important. Forgiveness is freedom. The moment you forgive, you set yourself free. You no longer allow the pain, the hurt, the anger, or the resentment to keep you in a cage. You break free from the shackles of your past and step into a life of emotional and mental freedom. Forgiveness is a gift that you give to yourself. It's the key to unlocking peace in your heart and mind. When you forgive, you open the door to healing, to growth, and to a future full of possibility. So ask yourself today, who do I need to forgive? Is it someone else? Is it yourself? Making peace with your past starts with forgiveness. Forgiveness of others, forgiveness of yourself. It's time to release the weight of the past so that you can live fully in the present and step boldly into the future. We all go through pain. We all experience hardship, suffering, loss, and disappointment. But I want you to hear me clearly today. You don't have to let your pain define you. You have the power to turn that pain into strength. The idea that pain can be turned into strength may seem counterintuitive to some, especially when you're in the midst of it. When you're going through hardship, it can feel like it will never end. It feels like you're being broken, not built up. But I want to challenge you to see your pain differently. Think about your past pain for a moment. Reflect on those moments where life hit you hard. Maybe you've experienced the pain of losing a loved one, going through a divorce, facing failure, or dealing with disappointment. For many of us, those times have been so intense that they nearly broke us. But what if I told you that your pain, the very thing that hurt you the most, could actually be the source of your strength? What if I told you that the hardships you faced could fuel your greatest transformation? You see, pain is a powerful motivator. It can either keep you stuck in a cycle of suffering, or it can propel you toward growth. It all depends on how you choose to handle it. You have a choice in this. When you're in pain, there's a natural tendency to want to avoid it, numb it, or ignore it. But what if instead of avoiding your pain, you chose to face it head on? What if you saw your pain not as a curse, but as a teacher? Every painful experience carries within it the potential for growth. It's through adversity that we often discover our true strength. The person you are today, the person you've become, is not just the result of your successes, but of your failures, your heartaches, and your struggles. In fact, the moments when you felt like giving up, when you felt like you couldn't go any further, are the very moments that shaped you into the resilient person you are today. Let me share a story. There was a man named John who went through an incredibly difficult period of his life. He lost his job, his marriage fell apart, and he was left feeling hopeless. For a while, he was stuck in that pain. He blamed the world, he blamed others, and he blamed himself. But eventually, something shifted inside him. He made a decision that would change the course of his life. Instead of letting his pain continue to drag him down, he chose to use it as fuel for transformation. John decided to start focusing on what he could control. He realized that the pain wasn't going to disappear overnight, but he could control his response to it. He began to invest in himself. He started reading books on personal development, went to therapy to address his emotional wounds, and worked hard to rebuild his career. Over time, John's pain became his purpose. The lessons he learned from his struggles turned into wisdom that helped him not only heal, but thrive. He started using his story to inspire others who were going through similar situations. He found strength in his vulnerability, and he discovered a new sense of purpose. And you know what? You can do the same. You don't have to be defined by the pain of your past. You have the power to use that pain to fuel your personal growth and transformation. You can turn your suffering into your source of strength. But how do you do this practically? Acknowledge your pain. The first step in turning pain into strength is acknowledging it. Don't bury it or pretend it doesn't exist. Confront it. Feel it. Recognize the emotions tied to it. Only by accepting your pain can you begin the healing process. Reframe your story. Instead of seeing your pain as a permanent scar, start seeing it as a part of your journey. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this experience make me stronger? When you shift your perspective, your pain no longer holds you hostage. Instead, it becomes a powerful catalyst for growth. Take action. Pain becomes powerful when you use it to take positive action. Whether it's seeking therapy, learning new skills, or changing your environment, taking action allows you to transform your pain into progress. Action is the bridge between suffering and strength. 4. Share your journey. Once you've started turning your pain into strength, don't keep it to yourself. Share your story. Inspire others. Your story could be the light that guides someone else through their darkness. Remember, your past does not determine your future. Your pain is not your identity. It's merely a chapter in your story, not the whole book. When you choose to transform your pain into strength, you give yourself the power to create a future filled with hope, healing, and possibility. If you want to make peace with your past, the first thing you need to do is shift your mindset. You see, our minds are powerful. They shape the way we see the world and the way we see ourselves. And if we want to make peace with the past, we have to start with how we think about it. There are two kinds of mindsets you can have when it comes to your past: a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Let's talk about the difference between the two. A fixed mindset is one that believes that our abilities, intelligence, and circumstances are set in stone. People with a fixed mindset believe that the past defines them, that the mistakes they made, the failures they encountered, and the setbacks they faced are permanent. They believe that the past is a reflection of who they are, and they feel helpless to change it. On the other hand, a growth mindset is one that believes that we can always learn, grow, and change. People with a growth mindset understand that their past does not define their future. They view challenges and failures as opportunities to learn, and they believe that no matter how difficult the past has been, they have the ability to transform their lives moving forward. If you want to make peace with your past, you need to adopt a growth mindset. You need to stop seeing your past as a limitation and start seeing it as a teacher. Your past may have been filled with mistakes, but those mistakes do not define you. They are simply lessons that can guide you toward a better future. Let me challenge you today. What would it look like if you started seeing your past as a stepping stone to your future instead of a roadblock? You have the ability to change your perspective. You have the ability to choose how you see your past. You can choose to see it as something that happened to you, or you can choose to see it as something that happened for you. When you adopt a growth mindset, you stop dwelling on what went wrong and start focusing on what you can do right. You stop blaming your past for your current situation and start taking responsibility for the choices you make today. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances and start seeing yourself as the victor of your story. Here are some practical steps to help you shift your mindset. Change your self-talk. How do you speak to yourself about your past? Are you constantly reminding yourself of your mistakes and failures? Start changing the way you talk to yourself. Replace phrases like "I can't" with "I can learn." Replace "I'll never be good enough" with "I am always growing and evolving." Focus on growth, not perfection. Embrace the fact that growth is a process. You don't have to be perfect. In fact, you will never be perfect, but you can always improve. Instead of striving for perfection, strive for progress. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward a better future. Embrace challenges as opportunities. When you face challenges, instead of seeing them as roadblocks, view them as opportunities for growth. Every challenge you face is a chance to learn something new, to develop new skills, and to build resilience. Let go of regret. Stop holding on to regret. Regret keeps you stuck in the past, and it robs you of your future. Instead of regretting your past choices, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? When you shift from regret to learning, you free yourself from the grip of your past mistakes. By shifting your mindset, you begin the process of making peace with your past. You realize that your past doesn't have to define your future. Your past is merely a chapter, not the entire book of your life. Your growth is in your hands, and your future is brighter than any pain you've endured. Regret is like a heavy anchor tied to your soul, preventing you from moving forward. It's that feeling of wishing you had done something differently or wondering what your life would look like if only you had made another choice. But here's the truth. Regret doesn't change the past, and it certainly won't help you build a better future. The only thing regret does is keep you stuck in the past. Today, I want to help you let go of that regret. I want to guide you toward a place of freedom, where you no longer allow past mistakes or missed opportunities to control your present and future. The first step to letting go of regret is understanding that regret is a natural emotion. It's part of being human. We all have things we wish we had done differently. We all have moments where we feel we missed the mark or made the wrong decision. But here's the key. Regret becomes toxic when you dwell on it, when you allow it to consume your thoughts and shape your identity. You see, mistakes are part of life. They are an inevitable part of our journey. In fact, some of the most successful people in the world will tell you that their greatest accomplishments came after their biggest failures. Why? Because they learned from their mistakes and let go of the regret associated with them. They embraced their mistakes as part of their story, but they didn't let those mistakes define them. So how do you let go of regret? Acknowledge it. First, you have to acknowledge the regret. Don't run from it or bury it deep inside. Look it in the face. Understand what you regret, why you regret it, and how it makes you feel. Acknowledging your regret is the first step toward healing. Practice self-forgiveness. Forgiveness is the key to letting go of regret. But here's the thing. You can't always expect others to forgive you. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself. You need to understand that forgiveness is not about excusing your actions. It's about releasing the grip that those actions have on your heart. When you forgive yourself, you free yourself from the chains of the past. Forgiveness is the antidote to regret. Shift your perspective. Instead of seeing your past mistakes as failures, see them as lessons. You didn't fail. You learned. Your mistakes didn't define you. They refined you. Start to reframe your past experiences as stepping stones, not roadblocks. Regret is a sign that you've learned something valuable. Now use that lesson to create a better future. Focus on the present. Regret often pulls you out of the present moment. It takes you back to a time that can never be changed. The present, however, is the only moment you truly have control over. You can't go back, but you can move forward. Focus on what you can do now to create the future you desire. Regret won't serve you, but positive action will. Let go of the what-ifs. We all get trapped in the what if I had done this differently cycle. What if you had stayed in that relationship? What if you had taken that job? What if you had spoken up when you had the chance? What if we'll never change anything? What you do now will. Stop asking, what if? And start asking, what's next? Regret will always try to keep you bound to your past, but you don't have to let it. You have the power to release it. When you do, you create space for peace, for healing, and for growth. Building resilience is the key to overcoming past challenges. Life is filled with ups and downs, twists and turns, but how you respond to those challenges determines how far you can go. Resilience isn't about avoiding pain, it's about learning to bounce back stronger no matter what life throws at you. Resilience is one of the most important qualities you can develop. Without resilience, the weight of your past can drag you down, preventing you from moving forward. But when you develop emotional resilience, you learn to face life's challenges head-on, recover from setbacks, and keep going no matter what. So what exactly is resilience? Resilience is the ability to recover quickly from difficulties, to adapt to adversity, and to bounce back stronger from challenges. Resilient people understand that life is going to be tough at times, but they know that they are tougher. They don't give up when things get hard. They grow through what they go through. Let's talk about some practical tools and exercises to help you build resilience, because resilience isn't just something you're born with. It's a skill that can be developed. Cultivate a positive mindset. Resilience begins with your mindset. Resilient people are not immune to pain, but they choose to stay positive and focused on solutions. When challenges arise, they don't dwell on what's going wrong. They focus on what they can do to make things right. To build resilience, start seeing obstacles as opportunities. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or how can I grow from this situation? Practice self-care. Resilience doesn't mean powering through without taking care of yourself. In fact, building resilience requires taking care of your mind, body, and spirit. Physical self-care is crucial. Exercise, eat well, sleep, and make sure you're doing things that recharge you. But emotional self-care is just as important. Engage in activities that bring you peace, joy, and rest. Whether it's meditation, journaling, or spending time with loved ones. When you take care of yourself, you build the emotional reserves needed to handle life's challenges. Build a support network. No one builds resilience alone. A strong support network is essential for emotional resilience. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, encourage you, and remind you of your strength. Whether it's family, friends, mentors, or a support group, having people who believe in you can help you navigate even the toughest challenges. Don't be afraid to lean on others when you need support. Learn from setbacks. The most resilient people are those who view setbacks not as failures, but as lessons. Every setback has a lesson, and if you approach challenges with a mindset of learning, you'll bounce back stronger than ever. When you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? And how can I avoid this in the future? Embrace each setback as an opportunity for growth and development. Develop emotional regulation. One of the most important aspects of resilience is learning how to manage your emotions in times of stress. When you're feeling overwhelmed, angry, or defeated, it's easy to let your emotions take over. Resilience comes from learning to pause, breathe, and respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Practice techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, or grounding exercises to calm your mind and regain control in the face of adversity. Set realistic goals. Resilience is also about staying motivated and focused on the future. One of the best ways to do this is by setting clear, achievable goals. Breaking down big challenges into smaller, manageable tasks allows you to stay focused and not get overwhelmed. Celebrate each small victory along the way, and don't forget to give yourself credit for how far you've come. Embrace change. Life is full of unexpected twists, and one of the most important aspects of resilience is the ability to adapt to change. Resilient people understand that change is inevitable. Instead of resisting it, they find ways to embrace it. Whether it's adjusting to a new job, a new relationship, or a new phase of life, resilience allows you to stay flexible and adaptable. Building resilience is a lifelong process. It's not something that happens overnight, but every small step you take toward developing resilience strengthens you for the challenges ahead. And when you build resilience, you not only overcome the challenges of your past, you become stronger and more capable of facing whatever the future holds. Remember, your past does not define your future. Your ability to bounce back, to grow, and to learn from your struggles is what truly defines you. By letting go of regrets and building resilience, you free yourself from the weight of your past and create space for peace, growth, and a brighter tomorrow. As we close the chapter on making peace with your past, I want to turn your attention to something powerful: your future. The past no longer has to control your destiny. You have the opportunity, right here, right now, to create a future that is defined by your strength, your growth, and your vision. But first, you must let go of everything that has weighed you down and stop letting it dictate your future. Imagine a life where the baggage of your past no longer holds you back. Can you see it? A life where you wake up each day full of purpose, energy, and joy, not burdened by what you didn't do or who you didn't become. Your future is waiting for you to step into it. Creating a vision for the future starts with intentionally deciding what you want that future to look like. But before we dive into goals and aspirations, let's take a moment to focus on your inner state. Your mindset and emotional resilience will guide you in creating the kind of future you want. If you don't believe that your future can be different from your past, you'll limit your own potential. But when you fully embrace your ability to change, to grow, and to heal, you give yourself permission to dream bigger than you ever thought possible. Let's talk about how to create that vision. Visualize your best life. Close your eyes for a moment and picture your life 3, 5, or 10 years from now. What does that life look like? What kind of person have you become? How do you feel? What have you accomplished? Visualizing your best life allows you to clearly picture your future and get in touch with the desires and dreams that have been buried by the weight of your past. Start with the image of your best possible future and let it fuel your actions today. Set clear and positive goals. Once you have a vision of your future, it's time to turn that vision into actionable goals. Set clear, achievable goals that align with your vision. This might include career goals, personal development goals, health and wellness goals, or relationship goals. Be specific about what you want and ensure your goals reflect who you are becoming, not just where you've been. Make sure your goals are positive, not focused on escaping your past, but on creating the future you desire. For example, instead of saying, "I don't want to be in debt anymore," say, "I am working toward financial freedom by creating a budget and saving consistently." Start small. The future can seem overwhelming when we look at it as a whole, especially after facing hardship or trauma. But don't let that fear stop you from moving forward. Break your vision down into smaller, more manageable steps. Each small step is a victory that brings you closer to your ultimate vision. Remember, success is built on consistency, not perfection. Start where you are and take small, deliberate steps toward the future you're creating. Surround yourself with support. As you begin to move toward your goals, you must recognize that you can't do it alone. The people you surround yourself with matter. Seek out those who encourage you, uplift you, and believe in your vision. When you're walking toward a new future, you need a team that will help you along the way. Whether it's friends, mentors, or support groups, make sure you surround yourself with people who encourage you to keep going, especially when the path gets difficult. Embrace the journey. Creating a vision for the future is not just about reaching the destination, it's about how you grow along the way. Your journey may not always be linear. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But when you focus on the bigger picture and stay committed to your vision, you will find strength in the process. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth, and every step you take towards your future will prepare you for the next level of greatness. Believe in yourself. The foundation of creating a vision for the future is belief in yourself. If you don't believe that you deserve a bright future, or that you are capable of achieving your goals, then no plan or vision will be enough. You must believe in your potential, your strength, and your ability to overcome whatever challenges come your way. Remember, you are not defined by your past. You are defined by your courage to move forward. Now, let me ask you, what does your future look like? Are you ready to release the past and embrace the life you deserve? It starts with a vision. Your future is yours to create, and it begins with the mindset you choose today. We've spent time today discussing how to make peace with your past, and I hope you're leaving this video with a sense of hope, peace, and excitement for what's to come. Remember this: your past may have shaped you, but it doesn't define you. You have the power to heal, grow, and move forward into a brighter, more empowered future. Let's quickly recap what we've covered. Understanding your past. Embrace your history. Reflect on the lessons it taught you, and recognize that it does not have to determine your future. Forgiveness, both forgiving others and yourself, is essential in healing and making peace with your past. Resilience. Life is tough, but resilience allows you to bounce back and grow from adversity. Letting go of regret. Release the emotional baggage that holds you back and stop letting past mistakes rule your life. Creating a vision for your future. You can create a new future by setting positive goals, believing in your own potential, and surrounding yourself with support. Now, the final question: what will you do next? It's time to take action. Don't just let these words sit in your heart. Take the first step toward making peace with your past today. Begin by reflecting on what you can release, forgive, and change. Set your goals and take action on the things you've been avoiding. You are capable of so much more than you realize. The best chapters of your story are yet to come. Don't let your past hold you back from stepping into your greatness. So, I challenge you. Take one step today toward healing, growth, and the future you desire. Whether that's forgiving yourself, setting a new goal, or simply deciding that today is the day you leave your past behind, take that step. Remember, you have the power to create the life you've always dreamed of. Your peace is waiting. Thank you for watching, and I believe in you. Keep moving forward,